All right, let's jump right in. Imagine for a second you stumble upon a message, but it's not from another person. No, this one's from the universe itself. A code that's been hiding in plain sight, showing a strange connection between words and numbers that, well, nobody has ever seen before. So, in this explainer, we're going to deconstruct this very mystery. We're going to follow along as a researcher starts to unlock this cosmic language that seems to connect everything back to the number 5.
So we're dropping right into the middle of it, into the lab of our researcher, Lila. She's surrounded by these strange, glowing symbols, and her investigation, it doesn't start with some big explosion, but with a whisper. These few words are her very first clue, the first letter, you could say, of a brand new alphabet. And this is where it all begins for her, with the first code. You know, the puzzle starts out looking deceptively simple, but as we're about to find out, it's usually the simplest clues that hide the biggest secrets. Okay, so the very first clue shows up as these glowing glyphs. Leela sees two words, Otto and Ada, and floating right there beside them is the number 1. The connection seems really direct, almost too easy. For whatever reason, these specific words are tied to the number 1. This is code 1.
Leela gets it right away. This is the foundation, the starting block. Code 1 is clean, it's basic, it's the first piece of a much, much larger puzzle. She knows this is just the beginning. The real question is, what's next?
And just like that, things get complicated. As Leela starts to dig a little deeper, a whole new set of symbols appears. And this one introduces a mystery that kind of throws a wrench in her first theory. That simple path forward, it just split in two.
Her screen flickers and updates. Right next to the code 1 word she already knows, a new set materializes. Bana and Bon. The setup looks pretty similar, right? But Leela spots a problem immediately. Something that just does not fit the pattern.
And here it is, the anomaly. In these new words, the letter N isn't stable like the others. It's flickering. It's pulsing with this weird energy. It's a clue that's basically screaming, hey, look closer, but it's giving her zero hints as to why.
So this becomes the one question that drives the whole investigation. It's not really about the words anymore. It's all about this single, bizarre character. What is N? Is it just a letter? A symbol? Maybe a glitch in the system? Figuring this out is the only way to get to the next stage.
You know how in every great mystery there's that one moment, that single piece of evidence that just cracks the whole thing wide open? Well, for Lila, that moment doesn't come from the glowing symbols on her screen, but from something she finds in a dusty old archive.
She pulls out this diagram. It's a simple 3x3 grid. But running down the diagonal is a sequence of numbers, 5, 3, 1. She immediately sees the number 1 from code 1. This has to be connected. But how do the other words, the other codes, fit into this? As she's scanning the diagram, she spots it. It's so small, almost invisible, etched right next to that number 1. 3 letters, but in a totally different alphabet. DVA. It looks like Cyrillic. What on earth could that mean?
And boom! This is the aha moment. DVA. It's not a random jumble of letters at all. It's a word. DVA, which is the Serbian word for the number 2. This is it. This is the Rosetta Stone for the entire puzzle. That flickering, mysterious N? It was never a letter. It was a placeholder, a coded symbol for the number 2. Those words, Bina and Bon, they belong to code 2. All of a sudden, the entire puzzle just snaps into focus. So now that N is unlocked, all the pieces just start falling into place. Leela can finally see the whole picture, not just what each code means, but how they all connect together on this path to 5.
So let's put it all together. Code 1 is the number 1. Code 2, with that hidden clue, represents the number 2. And the discovery of Dva proves that they both spring from the exact same starting point on that matrix. They're not two separate paths, they're two ideas that come from a single source.
And now, the full journey becomes totally clear. It starts at the source, that shared origin point for both code 1 and 2. From there,
The path travels through the bridge. That's the number 3, right in the center of the matrix. And then, finally, it all resolves at the harmony, arriving at the number 5. This is that moment of pure clarity for Leela. It's not just a math problem, it's a story. You start with individual, separate codes. You move them through a shared point of connection, and you bring them together for a common purpose, to 5.
So the puzzle is solved, but the answer points to something so much bigger. This isn't just some clever code, it's more like a philosophy, an elegant language that seems to describe the harmony of the universe itself.
And this is what it looks like in the end. All 4 of those words, auto, ada, binna, ban, which were once totally separate mysteries, are now glowing in perfect sync with the number 5. The system is complete. That flickering, unstable energy is gone, and it's been replaced by this steady, harmonious light. Everything is connected. The source material really sums up the whole journey with this beautiful, kind of poetic idea. From the simplicity of 1 and the complexity of 2 is born the harmony of 5. It's like a formula for how simple beginnings, when met with new challenges, can lead to this higher, more unified state. And that brings us to the end of our explainer. But really, it's the beginning of a much bigger thought. Sure, this was a conceptual mystery, but it leaves us with this incredible question. What if the universe really is written in a language of its own? And what if all the patterns we see around us are just sentences, waiting for us to finally learn how to read them?